Have you always wanted the best lawn on the block, but don't know how to get it? Well, welcome to the Great Green North. My name is Wayne Murray. I'm a lawn care enthusiast, as well as I worked in the industry, and you have found my fertilizer plan and my lawn plan that I put into my backyard every single year to help my lawn be the greenest and healthiest on the block. This fertilizer plan is derived by experiences that I've had in my own lawn, as well as experience I've had working in the industry, in the residential lawn care industry, as well as working on a golf course. These are experiences that I've learned from other people such as Ryan DeMay, Ryan Knorr, and other great people in the lawn care community, as well as reading papers from Ohio State University on the best practices involved in lawn care, as well as some advice I've gotten from my great Canadian friends at GrowForge, as well as some other Canadian lawn care connections I have. This is it. This is Great Green North's official lawn care program, and you have found part one. Part one, we're going to be addressing spring and summer, what I do on my lawn to keep it the green, healthiest, and best on the block. So without further ado, let's get right into the video, but make sure you hit subscribe because this is a two-part series and you don't want to miss the second part next week, which is fall, which is the most important time in your lawn. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alrighty, so for those of you who don't know, I am located here in the Golden Horseshoe in Ontario, Canada. We experience about a 4-month winter, normally seeing snow from about December until early March. Now, we do experience points of dormancy in my lawn from about the end of October, and then the growing season normally starts about mid-April, early May. So we're looking at about a 6-month period of winter that I'm experiencing in my lawn care calendar here. So I have my fertilizer program based off of that. And this is what we call a cool season lawn. So this lawn is based in a climate where you get snow. You have two distinct seasons, summer and winter. You have the lawn season, which is in the summer, and you have winter, which is snow, where the lawn sits dormant. There are also other type of lawns. You have the transition zones. These zones are in areas where you may get some freezing, you may get some distinct seasoning in certain years between summer and winter. Other years, your summer kind of drags, the lawn may sit dormant, but you do not get cold enough in the winter to foster a growth of a cool season grass, but you also do not get too warm in the summer to foster the growth of a cool season grass. This is what we call the transition zones. If you are located in the transition zone located on this map here, you may need to adjust your fertilizer program based off of the program that I'm going to give here. There is also our warm season grass types. These grass types are areas like Florida, Georgia, the Texas Gulf. All these areas you are going to be seeing above 0 temperatures, or for my American friends, above 32 degrees Fahrenheit for the entire year. And this means that your grass is never going dormant and you're going to be growing grass based off of that warm climate you live in. In the summer, your climates are way too hot to tolerate our cool season grass down here. So if you're located in those areas, please make sure that you adjust this fertilizer schedule accordingly to your area. Without further ado, let's get into my fertilizer schedule for my cool season lawn, which for me, all my Canadian friends, anybody located in the Rust Belt in the United States, as well as all the way down through New York State, Oregon, all the way over to Washington. These are all going to be cool season grass areas that you can follow this fertilizer plan I'm giving you right now. Might as well start with the best part of the lawn season, the beginning of the lawn season, the long-awaited spring. The snow is finally melted. It's finally time to get going in the lawn, and you are wondering, what should I do? What should I do in the spring to get my lawn going? First thing I always address in the spring, you need to look at the damage, assess what you got going on. You got snow mold? Are you missing grass? You got a lot of thin areas of grass. You need to assess what is happening in your lawn first off in the spring. My fertilizer program is based off having a healthy lawn, a quite well-established lawn. For those of you who have a bit thinner lawns, a little bit of weed pressure, this fertilizer program will work great for you. For those of you who are really beginner, you have an absolutely destroyed lawn, you can still use this fertilizer program and still see success. You just might have to wait till part 2 to see how you can thicken and make your lawn more healthy by the end of the year. The number one question I get in spring is, should I seed? Is spring a good time to overseed my lawn? This question I get a lot, I think, because people have kind of put the lawn on the back burner for most of the winter. The spring comes in, they see that it's looking all thin and dead and brown, and they start freaking out, thinking that they need to put seed down on their lawn. Most lawns that go dormant in the winter are going to see some browning, are going to see some thinning. It is just natural. As the lawn hibernates in the winter, it is going to shed any unnecessary leaf surface it has to try to conserve those carbohydrates to preserve the crown or the brain of the plant so the lawn can survive throughout the winter. Our springs here in Southern Ontario are way too unpredictable, as well as they are way too short to get any substantial success out of your lawn by seeding in the spring. The other major obstacle you have with seeding in the spring is that summer heat is just around the corner, and that is going to really hurt your seed if it is not properly established enough to make it through that hot summer heat we're gonna have for 2 months after the spring season ends. This is why I recommend stick with my fertilizer program throughout the spring. Focus on seeding and everything like that in the fall. So first off, the first thing I do every spring fertilizer is I always recommend people to start at an even keel. You have your 3 macronutrients that every fertilizer has featured, those 3 big numbers on the front of the bag: nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. These are the 3 big numbers on the front of your bag, and what you need to do is make sure you have all 3 of these in even supply in your lawn. This is why I recommend go to your local big box store or your local home and garden center and see if you can find an all-purpose fertilizer. That is normally what they're labeled on the bag. Those 3 big numbers on the front of your bag, you want them all to match. You can find them in a 16-16-16 configuration. Sometimes you can find a 10-10-10 or a 20-20-20. Sometimes it's just see what you can find in your area based off of what I've recommended here, an all-purpose fertilizer. This means that you are going to get the same amount in of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Make sure you have a great baseline for this spring. Make sure you have all of those main nutrient categories checked off, and this is going to give you a good start for your lawn to then thrive throughout the summer. You're not worrying that you're missing any of those major nitrogen food groups, and we are going to focus on some micronutrients with our liquid program that we're going to sprinkle in. You're going to grab this bag, you're going to put it down at 3 pounds per thousand. That's going to give you anywhere from a half pound to almost a full pound of nitrogen in, depending on the makeup of the fertilizer you purchased. And this is going to give you a good start for your summer. You are going to put this down just after you see the grass begin to grow, which is normally when your fertilizer or your soil temps hit about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or for my Canadian friends, that's about 8 degrees Celsius. As soon as your lawn temperatures have hit that and they are sustained, the soil temperatures, you can take a turkey thermometer and stick it in the soil. As soon as you have sustained temps over 50, you will probably see your lawn start to green up and grow. As soon as you've done your dethatch, you can go ahead and put down that all-purpose fertilizer, 3 pounds per thousand, across the whole lawn. The next part of my program is for my intermediate friends, my friends that really want a great, amazing looking lawn. I'm going to be sprinkling in some liquid alternatives you can put in to hit those micronutrient portions of the food groups. If we're comparing fertilizer to the food you eat, the macronutrients, the big nutrients, the big numbers on the granular fertilizer bags are going to be your main food groups. You got your dairy, you got your grains, all those main food groups you're going to be seeing in those big nutrients. The micronutrients, you can think of those as vitamins. Your vitamin A, your vitamin B, your vitamin C. This stuff is going to help the lawn improve, live you healthier, it's going to give you better color, it's going to give you better texture, it's going to give you better drought resilience. All this stuff really helps improve the overall look and health of your lawn. So this is for my more intermediate people, the people that really want to put in the extra step. You can try using liquid fertilizers to spoon feed some micronutrients into your lawn at the same time. So for those of you who want to take the extra step, what I do in the spring is I put down a mixture of TNT starter, organohume, and TPA wetting agent all at the same time with the recommended rates on the container supplied by GrowForge. You can go to GrowForge, use code GGN23, get 5% at checkout, and you can get those liquid fertilizers sent right to your front door anywhere in Canada. Great Canadian lawn care company supporting another Canadian lawn care company. I recommend you put this down every 2 weeks, so get yourself on a schedule, put it down every Friday. Say every Friday after work, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna spray the lawn, or every Saturday morning, I'm gonna spray the lawn. Obviously, if it's raining, you can't spray, you gotta put it down, let it dry for at least 8 hours before rain after that. If you are putting this down, combined with that baseline, you got that baseline, your macronutrients, this is what's feeding your lawn, and you're adding these vitamins in the spring, this is gonna give you great success. The spoon feeding in the spring, that first macronutrients hit is gonna get the lawn waking up, get it going, get it ready to go, get it all pumped to start growing, and then as you're hitting it with those micronutrients, you're gonna keep the lawn growing and healthy. You're gonna keep the color in the lawn, because when you get that spring flush and it's raining a lot and the lawn's growing like crazy, you wanna keep that color and keep that health in the plant. That's what you're gonna get with those liquid fertilizers. Put them down every 2 weeks on the dot, guaranteed at the rate recommended on the container, and you'll be perfectly fine. That's gonna soar you right through spring, all the way up to the old May 2-4, Victoria Day weekend, Memorial Day weekend for my American friends, and that's when we're gonna hit our summer program. All right, so our summer program is split into 2 different portions. For my friends that do not irrigate, you have an unirrigated lawn, you're not watering your lawn, you're gonna let it go dormant, you let it go to sleep, your summer fertilizer program is going to be this 1 granular application, and that is it. You're not gonna hit any micronutrients, you're not gonna be spraying, you're not gonna be putting any more fertilizer down, because you do not need to be feeding a lawn and encouraging it to grow when it is in a point of stress and it cannot grow. You're just gonna have burning and other adverse effects that you do not want to see in your lawn. So for my friends that are not irrigating, what you need to do on the long weekend of May, that last weekend of May, it's kind of the first weekend of summer, spring's over, the temperatures are getting warmer, you're gonna put down a 3008. Any fertilizer where the nitrogen number is in the 30s and you're seeing some sort of makeup of a lower number of the other 2. Now, if you cannot find this in your jurisdiction, all purpose is fine. The biggest thing is we're trying to get some nitrogen back into the lawn because we've burnt so much carbohydrates with all of the leaf surface we've grown in the spring, and we've cut it, and this lawn is just stressed. It's been growing like crazy. The wet season's finally over. We're trying to get the lawn healthy and ready to go into its portion of stress, which is gonna be the summer, because the lawn is gonna be stressed in the heat of the summer. So we're trying to get the lawn ready to get ready for the stress. So make sure you put that down. Again, 3 pounds per 1,000. If it is a bag with a 30 on the beginning, that is almost a full pound of nitrogen you're putting in before the summer. This is gonna send your lawn to bed in the summer for that dormancy period with a nice full stomach, ready to wake up in the fall, ready to fight through the drought that we're gonna see in the summer. And then once we hit that fall, we'll be ready in the next episode for what we are gonna do in the fall to really push our lawns all the way into the winter. Now, for my friends that are irrigating, you can do a little bit of a different strategy. Because your lawn is going to be actively growing and you're going to be trying to push it to grow, you need to be adding nutrients into your lawn. Your lawn is going to be growing, and if you're not adding nutrients in your lawn and your lawn is growing, eventually it's going to be hungry. It's going to be on an empty stomach. You're going to start to see light green leaves. The lawn's going to kind of start to die back. You're going to see those weeds coming in, and that's not what we want to see in our lawn, especially if we're trying to irrigate. So what we're going to do, the same thing as our unirrigated friends, we are going to be putting down a 3008 or a 3006 or a 3002, whatever you can find. Anything that big N number starts with a 30 and you're seeing some sort of smaller makeup of those other 2 numbers, that's what you're going to be putting down. You're going to be putting it down at 3 pounds per 1,000 on the May 2-4 weekend. Again, we're going to be seeing almost a full pound in of nitrogen. This is going to be getting our lawn ready to go for the summer that's just about to come up, filling the stomach back up in the lawn that's all hungry after a big long spring of growing, and you constantly chopping its head off. So now we're ready for the summer. Now, for my friends that are going to be wanting to go that extra mile in the summer, I do not recommend using any granular products in the summer after that May 2-4 weekend. It is just too stressful. You cannot get a small enough dose of a granular fertilizer in the summer, especially if you're really in that stressful time. Nothing beats Mother Nature's rain, and nothing beats, good temperatures and good growing conditions. When it's really hot in the summer, no matter how much watering you do, it is still very stressful on the lawns. And even though those golf courses that do great, you know, we were constantly hosing down the lawns in the afternoon, trying to keep things cool and ready to grow. And there, believe me, there is areas of every golf course that looks just as bad as your lawn, 100%. So what we're going to be looking at here, I suggest use liquid products in the summer. This way you're going to be pushing smaller doses of those major nutrients, kind of spoon feeding it in, keeping the lawn stomach full without overfilling it, giving it a full stomach where it's just going to go straight to sleep. As well, you're going to be adding some micronutrients in. So trying to play with the micronutrients, get some better color out of it, you know, try to help the lastability of the water you're putting into your lawn, trying to, you know, help coax the lawn through any stress it may have, all that kind of stuff. So what I do is every 2 weeks, so again, pick a schedule, make it every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever works for you, pick a schedule. Every 2 weeks, you are going to put down this cocktail. You're going to be putting down Balance Line, TPA, Organohume, and Straight Line. All mixed together in a backpack sprayer, put it down at the recommended rate on the bottles, supplied by GrowForge. Again, use code GGN23, get 5% off at checkout, as well as support Great Green North at the same time. This is what I recommend all summer long. The Balance Line is going to give you those major nutrients, the macronutrients that you need in your lawn in a small dose, as well as it is going to give you a little bit of micronutrients as well. The TPA is a wetting agent. It's going to help the lawn use as much of the water as it can, pull the humidity of the air, help hold that water into the plant, keep it as healthy as long as possible, especially on those really hot days. So the TPA wetting agent, great to use in the summer. It's going to help stretch that water a little bit, give a little bit of relief to the water bill. The Organohume, same thing. It's going to help get those organics, get those microorganisms moving in the soil, get the soil healthy, you know, keep stuff moving in the soil, keep the soil from going dormant in the summer. It's really going to help get the lawn growing. It's got kelp, it's got all that nasty stuff that we hate in that wet, gross, wet soil. That's what's in Organohume, and that's what's going to help your lawn. We got Straight Line, that's all the micronutrients. You got lots of iron in there, sulfur, magnesium, all that stuff that's really going to help get that great color response, get that lawn that nice, dark, lush green color that we all expect from our lawns in the summer. That's what Straight Line is going to give you. You're going to put it down every 2 weeks, and believe me, you are going to see amazing results with this liquid program. So without further ado, that's it for this part 1 of the full lawn guide here from Great Green North. Please make sure you subscribe, give a comment down below any questions you may have, as well as you can submit them to my website, greatgreennorthlc.ca, or you can submit them through my email, greatgreennorthlawncare@gmail.com. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. As well as this, we have a Q&A coming up, our spring quarterly Q&A. You got any questions, submit them down in the comment below. Just say, Wade, this is for the Q&A video, and we're gonna make a video answering all of your questions right here on the channel. From the Great Green North, my name is Wade Murray. Make sure you stay tuned for next week for part 2 of the ultimate lawn guide for the summer, and we'll be right back with more great lawn tips. So the Great Green North, my name is Wade Murray. As always, keep it green.
Though I'm on, subtract what's left and carry my heart. Believe in what we got. Pay no attention what you've been